Hey everybody, welcome back to Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. And hey, 3 victory Mondays in a row. This level of competency is, well, quite frankly, what I expected coming into the season, but not what we got. And I fear that even at 4-7, even after winning 3 in a row, that the season is over. But let's not let that fact take away from a very, solid win. I won't say great. There were certainly problems that showed up, that have been showing up throughout the season, but I will say it always feels pretty good to get a W against the Jets, especially in New Jersey. New York, but the Meadowlands, New Jersey. So the Miami Dolphins won 24-17 over the rival New York Jets. So let's talk about it. Offensive line looked a little better, but still gave up too many pressures for my liking. Tua looked solid aside from that one interception. I almost feel like you can just put that on each episode. I feel like if you went back and watched every episode I've done, I say pretty much the same words. Tua looked good except for that interception. But he went 27 of 33 for 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the aforementioned interception. As for rushing, Myles Gaskins led the way with 89 yards on 23 carries. Jalen Waddle added a touchdown from 1 yard out to give the Dolphins their first score of the day for good measure. Then for receiving, as far as yards, Matt Collins had 2 for 72 and a touchdown, including a long 63-yard touchdown. And then Jalen Waddle led the way in terms of receptions with 8 for 65. And that rushing touchdown that we added earlier, Mike Gesicki also added 5 receptions for 50 yards. The defense looked solid. The blitz, the cover zero that they ran to good effect last week, wasn't quite as effective this week against Joe Flacco. Ironically, Lamar Jackson replaced Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco had a much better game against this defense than Lamar did, with him putting up a stat line of 24 for 39 for 291 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a long touchdown. That is to be expected. I mean, this defense relies on the quarterback not being able to make extremely quick reads and the pressure getting to them, forcing bad throws. Joe Flacco, for, all the jokes that get thrown his way as, the elite Joe Flacco, he is a veteran of this league. He has had quite a bit of success, including a long string of seasons where he led the Ravens to the playoffs and is a Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. So it's really no surprise that he was able to have some success against this defense. And that's not to say that the defense didn't have any success. They did force a fumble that Christian Wilkins recovered. That was nice. Jalen Phillips got into it. It was a sack. It was all around a very decent defensive effort. Again, only let up 17 points. And I guess just the end of the day, the Dolphins are in tough shape if they want to make a push for the playoffs. They have to win every single game and probably get help. But they are 4-7 now, facing the Carolina Panthers next week. So that is not a game that they can't win. In fact, I think they have a good chance to win it. We shall see. But as for today, I think, it's still a very similar story. They came out, went right down the field, looked like world beaters. And I thought for a moment, for a very, slim moment, that perhaps they will blow the Jets out. The Jets have been quite bad. Maybe this is the game where the Dolphins don't only play exceptionally well on the very first drive, but continue that success throughout the game. Alas, it was not really to be. They certainly slowed down after that. They did, put up the long touchdown to Matt Collins, who I must say, Matt Collins has become a personal favorite player of mine, not just because of the catch last season against the Las Vegas Raiders, But this season, he's really an all-around, like, gritty, tough, do whatever it takes player. I mean, you can't really, get any more in, a bigger example of that than in this game. He scores a 63-yard touchdown and then covers the kickoff on the ensuing kickoff. So Matt Collins, really just a great, does whatever it takes type player. And I think, because of his size and because of his potential talent, he could find a long-term home here in Miami, especially since he's willing to do the dirty work, for lack of a better word. Jalen Phillips, I said before, he looked good, as did Ogba. He did have, Phillips did have a dumb penalty where he shoved a Jets tight end like 5 yards out of bounds and he fell. Perhaps it was acting, but you still cannot do that. Christian Wilkins had that. I want to say it was a fumble recovery. That's certainly what it looked like. They didn't credit Flacco with an interception in this game, so I do believe it was a fumble recovery. Then he fumbled, but luckily Hollins was there to pick it up. So all in all, the Dolphins did what they needed to do. They needed to get a win, and they did that. They're going to have to play the Jets again later on the season. Who knows who's going to be the starter at that point? Of course, Zach Wilson will probably be coming back from injury soon. I think the party is over for Mike White. As fun as it was to watch, I just don't necessarily see him returning, especially with Joe Flacco playing as well as he did in this game. So it's probably going to be either Flacco or Wilson. I would say probably Wilson, in which case in Miami, plus, they'll have the advantage of, playing against a rookie quarterback who won't be able to pick apart the zero blitz. I think they could potentially win that game. But hey, as far as right now, we should just consider the Dolphins to be out of the playoffs. And then if they make the playoffs somehow, that'll be like a little cherry on top of a potential comeback for the season. But I'm excited for the Dolphins going forward. And really, I just hope that they can get an offensive line someday. Because, as I said, even on 1 or 2 touchdowns, you get absolutely buried. The offensive line is playing better week by week, but they're not where we want them to be. So if you're a Dolphins fan, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Were you impressed by this 7-point victory? Did you expect them to win by more? What are your feelings going forward? Do you think that the Dolphins have a chance at the playoffs, or do you think I'm somewhat delusional trying to keep hope alive here? Which I think would be fair to say. But I'm eager to hear from everybody down in the comments below. If you like this, maybe subscribe. I cover the Dolphins every single week, as well as all the other sports. And if you're just like football, we do focus on the New Orleans Saints as well in our segment, The Bayou Breakdown, with my friend Jack. As for the channel, you can find it on Twitter at Wicked Good Sport. You can find me on Twitter at The Fake BMAR, that's BMARR. Wicked Good Sports is a product of Wicked Good Everything, which is our main, mother channel, if you will. That mostly is comedy and gaming. So if you liked me, mostly, please check that channel out, because I'm, in most of the videos on there. That's youtube.com/WickedEverything. We also have a podcasting channel, which is Better Radio. Just search Better Radio. You can follow the main channel on Twitter at WGEverything, Instagram Wicked Everything, and Twitch at twitch.tv/WickedGoodEverything. TikTok Wicked Everything. We have a TikTok Wicked Good Sports. And I think that's it. I'll end it there. I know that was a bit of a long outro, but there are a lot of things to plug. For everyone in the U.S. who celebrates, enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we will see you all in the next one.